What's the latest in the NSA leak scandal with Edward Snowden holed up in Russia? That seemed like to be a bad plan. Then it's leaving Hong Kong, going to Russia, unable to move over to Ecuador, and Russia even saying, hey, wait a second, do we even want this guy anymore? This is being more trouble than it's even worth. We'll see where that goes. Meanwhile, more revelations seem to come from Edward Snowden, and it came in my weekly copy of Der Spiegel, which with 3 years of German, I insist on getting in German, and it actually says more things about our clandestine network that we probably didn't want the public nor the European Union to hear.
Well, okay. Probably nothing that they didn't already know, though. I mean, maybe you didn't read your copy of Der Spiegel as accurately as you. But a lot of stuff that that he's been leaking is stuff that has been coming out.
Stuff on the European Union.
Did we know? Did our allies, France and Italy and the Greek embassy, know that we were bugging their rooms and tapping their phones and tapping their fax machines? If so, I mean, they haven't let on.
New York and in Washington,
we're going to hear from General Hayden in a second, who basically says, "Hey, really? The Fourth Amendment applies to Americans, doesn't necessarily apply to, other people in America, but non-Americans in America."
Right. Here's details. 2007, we implanted this crypto fax I didn't even know existed in the EU embassy in Washington, D.C. So that essentially gave copies of all cables sent from foreign ministries to foreign capitals. So details there. Now, it turns out the EU is flat out furious with this, and they're demanding explanations from our State Department. Here's Maren Schulz, President of the European Parliament. And then you're going to hear Michael Hayden, who was actually running the NSA originally. Then he went to the CIA. Listen.
I'm shocked in case that it is true. I feel treated as a European and representative of a European institution like the representative of an enemy.
Number one, the United States does conduct espionage. Number two, our Fourth Amendment, which protects Americans' privacy, is not an international treaty. And number three, any European who wants to go out and rend their garments with regard to international espionage should look first and find out what their own governments are doing.
Well, that's probably a good tip, but it is a bombshell, Eric. I mean, because it's our allies. I mean, obviously we do conduct international espionage, as he just said, but these are our allies. I'm not sure that they knew that we were listening in on their phone calls. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you think this is all just an open secret?
I think whenever we have our ambassadors in foreign countries, including countries that are allies to us, assume they're listening. Right. It's always safe to assume they're listening, no matter where we are. And guess what? When you send your ambassadors over here, you want to have discussions. Right. Assume we're listening as well. Hayden said exactly that on camera. It finally someone admits to what we know has been going on. That's fine.
So I just think
I'm proud of him for saying that, by the way.
You're proud of Edward Snowden?
No, I'm proud of Hayden for saying that.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, Brian, yes, I am proud of Edward Snowden to shine a light on what's been going on. Yeah, the NSA has been breaking the law for the better part of 8 years.
He is such a clown, and he's despicable.
What part is breaking the law?
The NSA is listening to your phone record. They can actually not only take your phone records, they can actually go back and listen to your phone conversations. That violates the Fourth Amendment. There's no reason for them to be doing that.
And
that is
what
illegal.
Great courage he shows going to Hong Kong and hiding out in the airport and going to WikiLeaks for advice. That's fantastic. By the way, who is serving him well? Evidently, he did have legal advice in Hong Kong to stay. And if for some reason, after reaching out to WikiLeaks, they are advising him to go to Russia. Now, Russia's saying he's got no passport. He can't even get to Ecuador, where Julian Assange, without an ounce of integrity, is holed up in a militaristic regime, looking there for an outlet for his freedom of speech.
At the embassy there in London. Meanwhile, let's talk about it's July 1st.
Can I just point something out, though? We have to at least say whether or not you like the way Ed Snowden carried out what he did. He brought something to light that most Americans didn't know what was going on, was that you're being watched and snooped upon against the Fourth Amendment. They are breaking the Fourth Amendment by doing this.
You cannot reveal clandestine behavior of our CIA and FBI. It doesn't work in the best interest of this country.
Is there a better way to be
there is no disputing that fact, Brian. I'm not saying that revealing clandestine information or putting anyone at risk is the right thing to do.
Do you think he has done that? Do you think he has done that?
I don't think he said anything that's put anyone at risk.
Are you kidding me?
So, not yet. But I do think that what he did tell us is very alarming. He told us that the NSA is using a FISA law that wasn't intended to be used this way, in a way that gathers information on Americans. Innocent.
If anyone in the Intelligence Committee, anyone who wanted to be briefed in Congress could have gotten briefed. If this program's gotten too big, the people we elect to put in place should be reining it in. But you cannot conduct this behavior.
You mean like Clapper, who was at the top of the NSA at the time, saying, no, we're not doing that?
Do you like Michael Hayden or not?
Do you like Michael Hayden or not? Only a month later, we found out, in fact, they were doing that.
I think you guys have both heard very well articulated both sides of the argument. We'd love to hear from you, where you fall on the Edward Snowden debate. You can find us all on Twitter. Meanwhile,